Good morning and welcome to our annual Veterans Day service. My name is Domance Belt. I'm with the local Veterans of Foreign War Post in Rosamond. The service was in the Army, Vietnam, 1972-73. The last time we assembled here was 6 months ago on Memorial Day to honor our military personnel who died for this great nation of ours. Today we're here to honor all veterans who have served in the military, which also include our fallen. What we'll do here, we'll have an opening prayer by James Davidson, our post commander. Yeah. We'll raise the flag and then lower it to half-mast. Play the national anthem. The color guard will post the flags at the ceremonial wall over there. We'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have a few speakers. Anybody wants to say something, we've got a couple of folks lined up. We'll then recognize our veterans, their families, and the community for its support. We'll be laying a wreath. The post chaplain will present another prayer, and we'll play taps. That will conclude the ceremony. So just, we have a bunch of folks here in uniforms that haven't showed up before. They're the California Cadet Corps, and some of them will be saying a few words as well. So, Comrade Chaplain, if you could give an opening prayer.
Today we are here to honor those that have served our country and given their lives so that we may stand here and still live in freedom. We need to be constantly reminded of our gifts, of our freedom, and those who gave all to make sure our future generations continue to know life of freedom. Remembering those who passed is only half of the task. That is before us. Today we must carry their love, honor, and duty forward in the future, generations of the past. Our children must know who they were, what they did, and what they did. To anything less will be disservice to their sacrifice and memories. Those are gone created a clear pathway for us to continue. We must never waver from that path of freedom and democracy. To take their memories, take their dreams, and walk forward shouldering the cause of freedom. Carry it high and proud. They did. We must walk forward for them. Amen.
If you will remain standing at this time, we'll have the raising of the colors performed by the Rosamond High School Cadet Corps. Just earlier this week, a new law was passed and signed into effect. It's that the POW MIA flag is now officially recognized and will be flown on all federal buildings as well. Our flagpole here for the last several years hasn't had the grommets properly, or the clevises properly spaced. Our former commander Tracy Norton came out here yesterday and fixed that, so we can also post the POW MIA flag as well. The flags will be raised to the top and then lowered back to half staff. Present arms. Order arms. At this time, if there are live band members could play the national anthem. Okay, that's the Rosamond High School band.
Right. Face.
This time we'll have the Cadet Corps color
Forward.
guard.
March. Left. 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 Right. 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 Left. Through. Up. Sorry, guys. About face. Forward. March. Left. 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 Right. 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 Left. Calm right. March.
Forward, march, left, 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 right, 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 left, your left, right, 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 left, 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 right, right, calm left, march. Left, 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 right, color guard, hold. Left, face. Ready, front.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. We have our Cadet Corps member.
Present colors. Present arms.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, colors. Order, arms. Right, face. Forward, march. Left, 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 right, right.
Okay, please be seated.
Left, left, all left, march. Stand at his left.
Okay, now we'll get to the words part. Our first speaker in the Cadet Corps, Captain Charles Wallace. He grew up in Rosamond and attended Rosamond schools. He attended Cal State Northridge and was commissioned from UCLA Army ROTC. He has worked with youth for the last 25 years. As a teacher, he has worked with at-risk youth and probation in Kern and Los Angeles County. I believe he's a veteran of Desert Storm. He served in the U.S. Army from 1988 to 1994 as a medical service officer with the 2nd Armored Division, combat medic with the 3rd Battalion, 41st Infantry, and Chief of Patient Administration at Letterman Army Hospital, Presidio, San Francisco. Currently, Captain Wallace is the Commandant of California Cadet Corps at Rosamond High School. Captain Wallace.
All right, thank you, sir. There's more chairs here. If you'd like to sit down, there's plenty of chairs, so welcome to join us. Good morning, and thank you all for allowing me to be part of this special ceremony in my hometown. And today I want to teach you a little bit of Army language and also some French. Are you ready to go to school? All right. I want to share this from Thomas Clement of Maryland. He said the average age of the people living in their military community, retirement community, is 85 years old. Recently, a neighbor turned 100 and a big birthday party was thrown. Even his son turned up. One tenant asked the son, "How old are you?" The son said, "I'm 81 years old." The tenant shook her head and said, "They sure grow up fast, don't they?" And sometimes it seems like life is going by fast as you get older, and sometimes it seems like things are going downhill. But I want to tell you that there's still hope, and it's right here among you today in these young people. We are privileged to be part of this new program, California Cadet Corps. We have over 200 middle school and high school students involved because of the hard work before us, many in Air Force, JROTC, our school district, and administration. So I'd like to share a few things from Cadet Corps with you. And this is from the Cadet Corps website. One thing stands clear in the studies of history is the need to build a solid foundation of future leaders. The earliest mention of Cadet Corps began as far back as 1856, when the National Guard included rosters of cadet companies. Ordered by California Governor James Gillette in 1910 and carried out by then Adjutant General E.A. Forbes, quote, to strengthen the military spirit in this state, to awaken waning patriotism and the love of the flag, and to furnish a young and trained asset to the country in case needed in times of national stress. The act was approved and signed into law by Governor Hiram Johnson, 5 April 1911, beginning the California Cadet Corps. The goal and vision of Cadet Corps is to build community leaders and builders today. We do that by giving students an opportunity to lead as they did this morning. Now, I want to teach you some French. Essayons is the Cadet Corps motto. It's a French word that means let us try. So I'm going to call the cadets to attention, and they're going to show you how to say essayons. Ready? Battalion, attention!
Essayons!
At ease. All right, so now you know how to say essayons, but when I say essayons, you say the English meaning is let us try. You ready? Everybody ready? So when I say essayons, you say let us try. Ready? Essayons.
Let us try.
Okay, cadets, help us out. Essayons.
Let us try.
Okay, that's you just learned some French today. All right. Lynette Combs of Norfolk, Virginia said that her 90-year-old dad was giving a talk at the local library, asked about his World War II experiences. During the question and answer period, he was asked, how did you know the war was over? He replied, when they stopped shooting at me. And the truth is, we don't really want that kind of struggle or failure or hardship. We would rather not have wars, but the truth is, that's life. Life is difficult, and as our veterans will tell you today, it's the hardship that makes us stronger and makes us better. There's a saying in the military, you may have heard, the saying is, I got your six. And that's some maybe new language for some of you, but I want you to learn this phrase today, I got your six. Say it right now, I got your six. And what that means is, I got your back. That's okay, you can hear me, right?
I can
It
hear
means, yeah, I've been talking loud a little bit. So it means I got your back, right? Like I got the behind. I'm watching out for you, but behind you. So today, our veterans for many years have had our back. They've had our six, and today it's our turn to have their six, to have their back, to stand up for them. And we do that today not as a protest, but because we can. We can stand because we have the freedom to stand, because they stood for us. And today we want to say thank you loud and clear. And we want to say this loud and clear to our veterans, I got your six. You ever heard this term, kids these days? Like this, kids these days.
Sure.
I bet they said it when you were a kid too, right? They've been saying it for a long time, and I see this and I hear this a lot. I hear people saying, kids these days, or things are bad, things are getting worse. But I want to tell you something. There's a lot of good going on, a lot of good happening, and you saw some of it today. So this morning, when I say essayons, you say let us try. Essayons.
Let us try.
I got your six.
I got your back.
Okay. Now, there's a class at the high school. It's a group of special students that have severe disabilities and need a lot of help. And some time ago, they started making coffee and muffins, and they'll take them to you if you ask for it. And one day I was really tired. So I called up, I said, bring me some coffee, please. So they did. And they all came into my classroom, and the cadets were there, and we taught them some Army language. We taught them to say hua. That's Army language. Everybody say
Hua. Okay, yeah. So now you learn some Army language, right? Well, now when I walk around the campus, those special kids, every time they see me, they'll salute and say, Hua. And so they are special kids out there. That's why we're here. We're here to help them. And I can tell you a lot of stories, and I know many of you have many stories. I'll just tell you one. His name is Richard. He was a young man that played baseball for me, and he got in a lot of trouble. He even got kicked out of school. But he got his life turned around, and today he's serving our country as a Marine in Japan, and he's got your six. So I'm saying that's what we're here for. Essayons? Essayons? So today, we're here to tell the families of veterans, and that is all of you, that you've got a parent, a child, a brother or sister that is a veteran. Thank you so much. Thank you, moms and dads. Thank you for letting your children serve our country, and we want you to know that you're not forgotten. The first general order in the military that the cadets all know by heart is, I will guard. Actually, let's say it together. Battalion, attention! First general order, ready, begin. I will guard everything within the limits of my post and properly relieved. Hua! All right, so, essayons. Amen. All right. One of the most prized possessions I have that was ever given to me was a Veterans Day card handmade by a group of girls in juvenile hall. Before I did this, I was working with kids in probation, and I was told by the teacher that these girls would not make it through the day, that they would be kicked out of class before the day ended. But by the time the day ended, not only did they stay in class, but they made for me a handmade Veterans Day card. And I want to tell you, there's hope in this generation. Essayons? There's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering around us, and that's why we're here. And many of us would not be here today if it wasn't for somebody that stood up for us, that went to battle for us and fought for us. Thank God for the people who did not give up when it was hard. Rosamond is still a small town, but it has a big impact, and so many from Rosamond have served our country and are still serving today. I'll make this story short, but you may have seen this story. It's about a group of young men, 6 high school students, that heard this story about a World War II veteran that had passed away. His name is Thomas Hunter, passed away just a couple of years ago. He had no relatives, he had no family, he never married, he outlived all his siblings, and nobody was able to be the pallbearers for this man's funeral. So the call went out to the local high school, and 6 football players from the local high school stepped up and were the pallbearers for Thomas Hunter's funeral. So I'm telling you again, there's hope in our country today and the young people that are around us right now. Essayons? Today, I get to wear this uniform because of many who served our country. I'll tell you, I never thought I'd put this uniform on again. And I'm thankful, because I wish I would have wore it more when I was in the Army. I wish I'd have wore it with more pride. So I'm very thankful today to get to wear this uniform because of these cadets. And I want to say thank you to every one of you who stood up for our country, for our community, for our students, and our future. And I could tell you, in just the last 3 months, just in this group and the 100 that are not here, many stories of kids, cadets, who are serving our community just like they did here today. They're holding these colors without obligation or coercion. They did not have to be here. This was not mandatory. They chose to be here. And they are proudly staying hours after school, marching, drilling, to be here today to honor our veterans. And there are many more like them. Many of them have experienced great struggle and hardship, and finding strength in this, that there's something worth standing for. Our country, our community, and each other. And I want to say this, I'm here today because of them. And I'm very proud of them today. And I want to say to these amazing students that showed up today to honor our veterans, I just want to say thank you. Essayons? I got your 6. Yeah, give him a hand, would you? Give him a hand. I want to close with the story. This just happened the other day. We were out marching, doing our drill, and I looked across the court, outside at the outside basketball court, and I saw a young lady, one of those little girls, one of those special students that brings coffee to me. I saw her out there on the basketball court marching, drilling, and she was not only marching herself, she was telling some other student to march and giving her commands. And it just reminded me of this. There are so many people that will never get to put on this uniform. They'll never get to serve our country because of disabilities or other things. So I say today, what an honor it is that we get to do this, that we get to serve our community and we get to serve our country. Essayons! So I want to introduce one of our cadets this morning. She is our battalion commander. She's Captain Lily Shaw, and she has a few words to say to our veterans today. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
I am Lily Shaw, as you said. First off, I would like to say thank you on behalf of everyone who attended today. We gather to honor the men and women who have served and sacrificed their lives for our country. It takes a special individual with a lot of courage to take on the challenge of fighting for our freedom. Unfortunately, some of those individuals never returned home to their families, but their absence will never be forgotten. Once they put on that uniform, they realized that they were a part of something bigger than themselves. They became a team, prepared to pay the ultimate sacrifice for our lives and for our liberty. Overall, I would like to just say thank you for protecting our freedom and for paving the road for future generations. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like our sound system took it down.
Another military term, huh?
Charged up the battery for a day and a half. Apparently it's not holding a charge, or maybe it's back on. Anyway, at this time, Harley has a couple of anecdotes. Our commander.
Well, I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about my military background. I graduated in '66. The draft was after me in '67. And the next door neighbor was like the mayor or something. He told me I was going to be drafted. And I said, oh, heck. So I went up to Tulsa, Oklahoma, sat there at the courthouse by the Navy recruiter, because I figured if I go in the Navy, Vietcong, I have to swim out the boat, and I'm a pretty good shot. Well, the Navy recruiter wasn't there. So I stand there, and the Air Force guy came by, and he goes, well, he had a death in family. Oh, well, he might not be back for a week or so. Oh, I'm going to get drafted. So I ended up going in the Air Force, because he told me I wouldn't have to go to Vietnam over a donut and coffee. So I ended up going to Lackland during my military, went to Shepherd, C-130 school. Then I got my orders. Well, Philippines. Whoa, cool. Well, I done jungle survival school there and ended up in Tan Son Nhut, Vietnam. And I had to go to work, and the supervisor I had, he was the first one that called me Harley Davidson. So anyway, they go in the morning, we get assigned our aircraft, and I tell him, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do nothing. What are you gonna do, send me to Vietnam? I'm already here. Anyway, the smart ass I was, and guess what? Ended up doing 21 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Flew all over the place. Had a great time. On 130s and all stuff, so we went all over. Okay, that's me. Still me. So whoever else wants to talk.
His original version, told in the canteen, had more profanity and humor. Okay, at this time, Joseph Antone. Is he here? Yeah. There he is. He's a former commander. Here's your opportunity.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you for coming out here on a day such as today. It's a beautiful day. It's almost a spring day in a sense, and it's going to be a comfortable day the rest of the way. I want to thank Captain Wallace for coming out here with the California Cadet Corps. It's kind of amazing to see all the young people willing in the hopper, ready to fight in the need when we need it the most. You know, you did something real neat. It's still their precedent. I'll guard everything within the limits of my post, quit my post only when properly relieved. I'll obey my special orders and perform all my duties in a military manner. I'll guard, report all violations, emergencies, or anything not covered in my special instructions to the commander of the relief. We are here with the VFW because we have not been relieved yet. I took an oath of enlistment back in January 1974, and I have not been released from that yet. I'm still always in the treads, in the sticks, looking for individuals to help out for us. How many here are veterans? Okay, because I'm looking at mostly now, I'm looking at our support right now. Everybody here is here to help us. We need more help here at the home front than what we do actually at the front. This is our meat and potatoes. This is why we are here. To enjoy people on bicycles. One of them. Yes, it is. But again, in that oath of enlistment, I try and continue to serve any way I can. And the VFW is one of the means I do that. We do more help for veterans behind the scenes here at the home front. We're constantly looking for help. Right now, we're waning. We're like waiting patriotism going down. Right now, as Captain Wallace said, we are no longer looking at new people in the hopper now. We need young blood in the VFW. I'm looking for a 25, 30-year-old commander to replace me or even Harley. I'm one of the youngest ones, and I'm 63. You know? Your father, you're still with us, Harley. We don't want to lose you. Believe me. But get the word out to some of these young veterans that we do need individuals out there to continue to serve, continue to help, continue to perpetuate what we are doing here once a year to honor our veterans. We need you, we need our community, we need our veterans. We don't want to be a waning group of individuals who can no longer support. We have individuals who are service officers who come out, establish benefits, and find means to get these individuals, veterans, their help that is needed. We have to sit down and try. We can't just give up. We have veterans out there that need to be part of the community again. Bring them back. I'm not going to give up. Now, hopefully you do. That's Jan?
That's Let
us try.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, since we're on a roll here with speakers, we'd like to acknowledge some other guests here. We have the Cadet Corps. I see some of the Rosamond Queens here. Would you folks like to come up and introduce yourselves and say a few words?
You're so cute.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm teaching Miss Rosamond, 2019. Thank you for being here. Hi, my name is Aubrey. Hi, name is Rosamond, 2019. Thank you for being here. Hi, my name is Kira Chambers. I am Young Miss Rosamond 2019. Thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful day.
My name is Reina Sanchez, and I'm Junior Miss Eastside, and I want to thank you all for coming and serving. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Isabel Heredia. I'm Team Miss Rosamond 2019. I just want to take this time to remember the military, past and present, that served. If it weren't for them, then we would have never had the freedoms that we have today. Thank you all that made the ultimate sacrifice. God bless America.
We have one more speaker for the Ladies Auxiliary.
Hi, Lisa Checkley from the Auxiliary Rosamond Post. We are always looking for more people. We want to thank all of our veterans, everyone. We're always looking for more help in our community. We love our community because of our veterans. You can have this back. I think I'm loud enough. We're here to serve our community. Our auxiliary post and our post, we're all here to serve our community. Our veterans are number one with us when it comes to what we do. So we want to thank you guys all for serving us and allowing us to come into your post and being part of this wonderful thing. And I appreciate everyone showing up today. It's amazing seeing everyone here this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there anyone else who'd like to come up and say some words? Okay. Gotta get up and look the other way.
So, I am Cadet Shodi. I have a service dog. His name's Doc, and we have a foundation. It's called Silver Paws. It's mainly for veterans. So if you know a veteran that it's in need of a service dog, you can ask me or my mom right there. I got picked because there's 2 kids allowed in the program. So I work with veterans, and it's a really good program. So if you know any veterans or any veterans here that need a service dog, you can come and talk to me after, or my mom. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more hand.
I got people in my family die. Oh, I don't need a speaker. Okay, I got people in my family die of Asian Owens in Vietnam. They fight for this freedom, and they was not mad about dying of Asian Owens. They was happy because they fight for this freedom, even though Vietnam turned to be a partisan war. We know that. It turned that way. And I got people in my family was in the Pentagon, working in the Pentagon, top Pentagon people. Because my uncle was Uncle Bucky, Buck Sargent, Uncle Buck Sargent. But he was higher than Uncle Bucky Sargent. He had stripes, and he in the Pentagon. And he only could say so much about us of Vietnam. Vietnam turned to be a turned to be a partisan. It was a partisan, and we fight still for strongness of that. And then they was coming back, and Nixon brought them back.
Yes.
President Nixon brought them back, and we were happy about that when President Nixon brought them back from Vietnam. And then people were just spitting on the flags and everything, but we show respect for God and the #1 Jesus Christ and American flag.
Yes.
Show respect for that flag. We fight for this.
Yes.
We will keep on fighting, and we will keep on going all the way. And I was in 9/11 at 9/11 time. I never forget that, when the World Trade Center got hit. This is a war. We are on the war with God, power, and we will stay America. make America great again. Donald John Trump.
Thank you, Michael.
Amen.
Anyone else wishing to say something, anything? Okay, at this point, we'll move on toward the close of the ceremony. We've kind of recognized our veterans. Are there any relatives of veterans here? We think there are. If they could just stand. Mothers, children, brothers, sisters, the veterans themselves. So there's quite a few people there. They're all related to the veterans. They know there's been some sacrifice and they've had to put up with it as well. So thank you very much. Yeah. We'll have a laying of the wreath and play taps. We'll have a post chaplain do a Veterans Day benediction for that.
Yeah, this is a prayer. Oh, okay. Remember today all those who have come before us and given their gracious gift to our dramatic nation. Their lives, their duty, their honor, and their lives are precious gifts that must be given to the future of our country and family. The duty of our veterans, past and present, is the fiber of the world's freedom and is stronger by our recognition of service and sacrifice. We honor that service and sacrifice today and should carry it forward for our children to honor. Freedom and democracy are the result of all most honorable this country has produced. Today we stand to remember the most honorable among us, and we must continue to carry that burden of sacrifice, lest we lose sight of what is our true freedom. Today is remembering, stand and honor them, walk in their path of their duty. Remember the cost and hold in your heart the cause of freedom. Remember today is our Veterans Day. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we need a volunteer to lay the wreath. If the auxiliary would do that, I think the wreath is actually up there behind the flag. Okay.
Oh, he could do it. Good.
So as we lay the wreath, we also play taps if the sound system works here. Let's see if that works. The microphone works. Newfangled technology. I had it working in practice earlier.
Put one of the young people on it. They know. This brings our formal ceremony to a close. Thank you all for attending.
We will be having a lunch with Albertsons chicken, Subway sandwiches, and other potluck items at the post as soon as we can all reconvene there. The post is on 20th Street, 1 mile south of the post office, 2 miles north of the casino. And we invite you all to stop by and have lunch.
Okay.
And I think this concludes the festivities. Thank you very much. May God bless you and your families, bless our veterans, and bless the United States of America.